Good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So I wanted to go ahead and start today's video off by saying that this card right here is a prime example of why grading is so important. And I also want to divulge some very important information that we are now getting from PSA. So now when you're grading and you get to the grade reveal portion, which basically PSA is like, hey, we have your grades, we're ready to reveal them to you. You instantly have offers on the cards that you grade from PSA to cash out. So you don't even have to wait for the cards to get to you and sell them. Now, I'm going to say I recommend still waiting for the cards to get to you to sell them, unless you think we're in some kind of bubbly market for that certain card. And the reason that I say that is, one, I like to have the cards physically in hand. Two, I feel like PSA knows something that we don't. They know something about the secondary market. They know about the population. They know that the cards are going to get harder to grade. And so they offer a price where they know that price is going to go up shortly after what they're offering. Or maybe they just simply offer what they think is like, I don't know, 85%, 90% market. I don't know. But now PSA is willing to directly pay you on the cards that you've graded. So I wanted to talk about that first off, but also want to talk about this Zapdos EX as a good, as a good example on why grading is so important. I don't just grade because it builds my collection. I already have this Zapdos EX in a 10. This is like the 5th or 6th copy that I've gotten a 10 on. I grade because it helps keep my collection streamlined and sustainable. So this card, I went to the shop and bought for 40 bucks 3 months ago. And for me, it was a no-brainer. It's a beautiful card. And that's the thing. I didn't know this card was going to go up in value. I never know cards are going to go up in value. I don't know if anybody does. You take an educated guess or you buy with your gut. And I do a lot of buying with my gut. And this Zapdos EX, to me, is a badass card. This card is absolutely beautiful. Okay, it rivals the big three in 151. It rivals pretty much everything in that set. The Alakazam is also absolutely gorgeous. I think that card is going to pop off. It's already popped off a bit, but I think it's gonna go a lot higher. I think people are just starting to come around to the fact that 151 really is pretty much one of the best sets, if not the best set in Scarlet and Violet. And if you look at this card, bro, it features all 3 of the legendary birds on this card. That yellow is so vibrant. The blue is so complimentary. To me, it's just a no-brainer that this card's beautiful. We sold this for $400 this morning. We bought it in for $40. Grading was, at that time, I think $15. Basically, I don't know. We made probably $275, maybe $320 on it, somewhere around that area. Maybe we net and take home $300 after the cost of the card, grading, and fees on eBay. But just look at this card. Look how beautiful this card is, guys. This card is absolutely stunning. Trying to get in the natural light here, because this card is just absolutely beautiful. There is no reason why, oh, there we go. There is absolutely no reason why this card can't trend higher, but that's besides the point. What I did here was I turned a $40 card into a $400 card. And this is what makes grading so important, because now I'm selling this card, which I really like this card. I didn't really want to sell it. I would rather have another duplicate copy, but this is why we're grading. This is why we're doing what we're doing, so that we can afford bigger, more expensive Grail cards that are vintage. Because I gotta be honest, guys, my heart lies in vintage. Vintage is what I love most. It's what I've always loved most. I dabble in a little bit of everything, but for me, vintage cards are just where it's at. And so one thing I think I'm going to try and do is every day talk about a card that I love in my collection, and mainly the ones that I really, really love, not just the ones that are part of completing a small set, like, you know, the crystals that I'm not the biggest fan of, I'm going to talk about the cards that I'm the biggest fan of. And it might seem like hype or flex or whatever. You call it whatever you want. I love these cards. I loved these cards before they were super expensive. And I was willing to take a risk on them when they first got expensive and say, hey, you can have money or you can have this card. And I choose to have this card. This card is phenomenal, right? We're going to do a lot of that. We're going to talk about some of my favorite cards. But we're going to do one at a time and really focus on the cards. So anyways, what I was trying to say yesterday is doing stuff like this is exactly how I have the cards that I have in my collection and continue to get the cards that I want in my collection. I don't just do it by just making a ton of money, working my butt off, and spending it all on cards. I really have to coordinate and grade and be diligent, and this builds a lot of value. So anyways, we're gonna go ship this off to the post office right now. Shout out to whoever ended up picking up this card. I have some crazy awesome stuff on the way, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Good morning. But some of those cards, some of the cards that I'll be purchasing lately, they would not be possible if I wasn't building my collection by grading and selling those graded cards. It brings a lot of value into my collection, and it's not about making money on that card. It's about the fact that that card is going to offset my costs of acquiring other cards that I just value a lot more, and that are more nostalgic to me, more sentimental to me, and just mean more to me. I had a long phone call last night with a subscriber, who's now definitely one of my good friends, I would say. And we're just talking about everything vintage. And I told him, it feels weird whenever I show or post some of the cards in my collection, because it seems like, oh, look what I have type thing. But it needs to be, the story needs to be, look how incredible this card is. Let's throw money off to the side. Just look how incredible this card is, and how historical it is. And yeah, so we're definitely going to be doing more stuff like that. So we're going to talk about one card in today's video after I get back from the post office. I'll see you guys soon. What's going on, guys? So like I said, shout out to Billy. This is for you, buddy. We're going to talk about some vintage cards that we love, and we're going to take some time out to pay tribute to the cards that mean the most to me in the hobby, and just show you guys. So as you guys can see, we're starting with the back. Very clean. This corner has some whitening on it. That's about it. It's pretty much a true 9, but very clean otherwise. And here we have the Crystal Ho-Oh. This card is the Crystal Ho-Oh from Skyridge. What I love about Skyridge versus Aquapolis is that the bottom half of the card has this nice hollow bleed as well. It's not just the top half of the card. It goes all the way around the bottom half, which Aquapolis does not. I always kind of joke around and see this card as like a Thanksgiving turkey card. It really is kind of a funny card to me personally. But it truly is a beautiful card. So one thing about this card is that it has this beautiful hand-drawn artwork. The colors of Ho-Oh go really well with the hollow orbs as it changes color. It's literally perfect in that respect. And I'm not even a Ho-Oh fanboy. I really like the Lugia from Aquapolis a lot more in terms of legendary bird artwork. But I will say the Ho-Oh does get the Skyridge treatment with the hollow going all the way around. I think there's actually a swirl down in here. And I'm pretty sure all of my crystals have a swirl in some respect somewhere, even if it's tough to find. E-reader cards are just freaking absolutely beautiful. The e-reader border is super nostalgic, and just design-wise, it's pretty peak. But the colors of the hollow, it's funny, the yellow, green, red, it goes perfectly with this card. And so if we zoom in here, if we look a little bit closer, try to get the holo to not shine so bright, you can see that Ho-Oh is flying in the sky. There's clouds in the background. There's a crop cutout of what looks like is Ho-Oh. So it's pretty cool. Skyridge is all about the cards in an environment that is like the Skyridge ruins. I think that's what makes Skyridge so special, is that a lot of these cards really do tell a story. So Ho was a big deal. Ho originally debuted, I think, in the first episode of Pokemon, or one of the very first episodes. You see him flying across the sky, and really haven't been a whole lot of Ho cards in the hobby. And so I think it's pretty awesome that we recently got that Ethan's Ho from Destined Rivals. That's a pretty badass card. And, you know, I think we're definitely due for some nice Ho cards. But this card is absolutely stunning. It's honestly pretty aggressive. It's pretty wild. It looks like Ho is coming at you with his talons. And I for one, personally, I prefer the cards that are a little bit more aggressive looking, like Battle Stance. And he's a crystal type, so he has this really cool finish down here. This kind of, you know, these different colors that kind of represent what a crystal gemstone, those colors that it would give off. Then these attacks are really cool, how it has multiple different energy types. Holy Flame down here, Scalding Steam. Pretty cool looking attacks, pretty cool colors. And everything just goes really, really nice with a nice white graded guard. In my opinion, for the crystals, I like them with the white graded guards. I think they all come together nicely. And I do actually have all of the crystals. I don't have them all in a 9, and I don't have them all in a 10. I have a couple 10s, and the rest are all 9s. But for me, I just wanted to complete this goal. And so a lot of these cards I ended up having to buy in 9s. But yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. It's a really, really clean card. And I just kind of wanted to talk about cards that I loved. And I thought no better way to do that than start off with our boy Crystal Ho-Oh. I had just spent all night last night talking to a fan, and he was telling me that Crystal Ho was one of his next big pickups in a PSA 10. And we'll go ahead and say that I personally still think there's a lot of really nice 9s out there. I think one thing we do need to worry about right now is doctoring. People that are doctoring the cards and cleaning them and polishing them. There's going to be a lot of modern cert 9s hitting the market. This isn't necessarily a modern cert. It's a 75 cert. So it's a little bit of an older cert kind of at this point. But the 7 certs, that was a good time. I don't think doctoring was as big of an issue at that time as it is now. So, you know, modern cert cards, everyone likes the modern cert, right? Even I like the modern cert. But the problem with that is a lot of cards are being doctored today. So modern certs actually like express some level of higher risk to me personally. Whereas an older cert represents a card that was graded when the hobby just wasn't as popular, which means there's less incentive to doctor up the cards and spend all this time trying to make them look clean and nice and be something that they aren't. A lot of people they graded the cards they thought were 10s or mint, at least in this case. But yeah, this card's holo is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really glad I got to show you guys this. The card is just super fantastic, and the colors are really vibrant. And honestly, the more that I sit here and look at this card, the more I actually have more of an appreciation for it. One thing we were talking about the other night was we were saying, I was saying how, you know, as much as I love vintage, I have a lot of love for modern, and a lot of my love for modern really trickles back into vintage, right? Like if I found, you know, that Ho-Oh card from Destined Rivals, if I found that card and graded it myself, I probably would spike a lot of love and spark interest in the older Ho-Oh cards, Because for me, that's just something that happens. Like, I collect modern cards, and then it reminds me, like, hey, this Heracross from Paldea Evolved, now I really want the Neo Genesis Heracross, and I recently just graded my Unlimited Neo Genesis Heracross. That card's sick. But maybe we'll talk about that in another video. Because it's not going to be all, like, hype Grail cards, flex cards. It's really, we're going to talk about just about everything in my collection that is vintage, that's graded at some point, even the lower grade cards. Anyways, peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Also, just briefly wanted to say that tonight we have our live stream. I'm off on Wednesdays. It's really my only day off. This week it is my only day off. And I'm going to be working a ton the rest of the week, so I don't know if I'll be uploading as much the next couple days. I'm going to try and stay consistent with it. But anyways, tonight we have our live stream. So if you guys want to dabble in our shenanigans, come out to the live stream tonight. It'll start around 11 o'clock, depending when we can get the kids to sleep. But I'm excited for it. You should be excited for it. It's always a good time. We always chop it up. We always banter and laugh and have a good time. So I'll see you guys there, and peace.